Once I've chosen a topic, I start doing the research. Research is the heart of writing nonfiction. Because you can't make things up when you're writing a nonfiction book, you have to make sure you get the facts right. It's pretty much the #1 rule of nonfiction, getting the facts right. Actually, the research is one of my favorite parts of the process because I love to learn. I choose topics that I'm interested in, and then I get to take time to learn about them. My research usually starts with observing the natural object. I record my observations with photographs, videos, and words. I almost always have a notebook with me. Then I naturally begin to have questions about the topic. One way you can organize your research is to use an OWL chart, an observation, wondering, and learning chart. Here you can make a drawing. In the O column, you can record your observations. In the W column, you can record your wonderings or questions. And in the L column, you can record your learnings. What's interesting is that as I'm adding learnings to the L column, it usually leads to more wonderings. I'll show you where I do a lot of my research. This is my office. It's an enclosed porch that we turned into an office. I like it because of all the windows. We have great trees in our yard and a lot of wildlife. I use many different resources when I do research. These are the ones I used for Next Time You See a Bee. I found some wonderful books. Some of them I purchased. If I know I want to reread them and make notes in them, I'll buy them. And some of them I borrow from the library. This book was recommended to me by a bee expert friend of mine. It really helps to have someone recommend it. You might have your teacher or librarian recommend some resources for you as you're doing your research. I find articles like this one, Bee Basics, an introduction to our native bees, which I know comes from a good resource. This is from the USDA Forest Service and the Pollinator Partnership. Much of my research is done online, but online research is tricky because there's a lot on the internet that's just not true. For example, anyone could make a website about bees and write anything they want. So it's important to use websites you can trust. So I typically use websites from universities, science organizations, and conservation groups. I also consult with experts on the topics I write about. These are often university professors, zoo employees, conservationists. For example, when writing Next Time You See a Bee, I had some specific questions that I could not find the answer to online, so I emailed the author of this article, and she was really helpful. After the research, one of the hardest parts is choosing what to include and what to leave out. See, I only have 32 pages in these books, so I can't include everything I learned. So I take my notes and figure out what the most valuable point, or MVP, is. For the bee book, it was pollination. Then I figure out what interesting facts support that central idea. I call these VIPs, or very important points. I have included a graphic organizer that you might find helpful when you're writing to help you determine what the MVP is of your book and what information should be included as VIPs.